I surrender. Wow. There it is. Wow. For the first time since 2008. Think about this math, okay? I've been watching this team for about a decade, right? For about a decade plus, like 12 years or so. I just missed my chance of watching this team win the NBA Finals. Believe it or not, folks. The 1 year I started watching the Heat, they went to the finals, right? That was the last year with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. They lost the finals that season to the Spurs. Then LeBron went off to Cleveland, and we all know the rest is history. Then the Heat, um, the Heat in 14-15 season, I don't think they made the playoffs, at least not from my knowledge. But then uh, 15-16, they made the playoffs. That was with Dwayne Wade. But in all those years, the Heat have not once, despite some difficult seasons, the Heat have never, in Spoelstra era, never once have an 8-game losing streak, just like right now. The game just ended. And for the first time since 2008, and for the first time ever in Eric Spoelstra's tenure as a head coach with the Miami Heat, the Heat have suffered their 8th game losing streak. Think about that math of how long I've been watching this team, right? I may not be one of the OG fans, back in 88, 89, or anything like that. Not once I have ever saw this team ever lose 8 straight. And worst of all, it was on national television. So the whole world got to see it with the Knicks and Heat rivalry. But the more frustrating part is I think everybody knew. I legitimately think everybody knew that this was going to happen. The Heat's longest losing streak ever in franchise history. It was the expansion season, 88-89, from November 5th all the way to December 14th, 88. The 07 season, that was a bad season. Good thing I didn't watch that season. I was way too young to remember the 07 season. That was a disaster season. This was a couple of seasons after the Heat won a championship. So, but my God, a lot that went wrong. First off, another double-digit blown lead. Thankfully, it was early, but still, we knew this was going to happen. Everybody knew it. And this is without Jalen Brunson. And you still get clobbered, blown out again. Again. You get blown out again. This time on national television. 3 straight games, you get blown out. And you can't get 100 points no more. The last 3 games, we scored at least 90, right? The highest right now is 95. The Boston game, we only scored 91. The Memphis game, that was a really big no game for us. 91 points we scored. Meanwhile, Memphis scored 125. And the Knicks, 116-95. It started off good because, of course, the Heat always starts good. You outscored the Knicks 29-18. Okay, you start off 12-0 run. And we knew it was too good to be true. It was too good to be true. Nobody was celebrating. I wasn't celebrating the 12-0 run because I knew. I knew it was going to happen. I'm used to it at this point. But the second quarter, right? It's not our worst quarter. It's the third quarter that was really bad. The second quarter, okay? The score was 31-18, okay? 31-18, that was a Khalil Ware alley-oop dunk. Really nice dunk. Since that dunk, the Knicks went on a crazy run, right? They went on, I think, a 15-0 run since the Khalil Ware alley-oop. 15-0 run. And guess who was the only player that was scoring all the points on that run? If you guessed Karl Anthony Towns, you would be correct. 15 flipping points straight on that run against the Miami Heat. Let me ask you one question. Why the hell was Tyler Hero covering him? Where the fuck was Bam? You're going to get paid millions more coming up 26-27 season. Are you that soft? You can't go up against Karl Anthony Towns? Are you that guy? I don't think you're that guy, to be honest. And you know who would agree with me on this? Kendrick Perkins even called it out in the first half. He quotes, "We're not supposed to be seeing Tyler Hero versus Karl Anthony Towns. Can Bam show up and fight at some point? Fight back. You're supposed to be one of them guys." That's Kendrick Perkins' words there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not just saying it. He's saying it as well. And in the third quarter, forget it. Forget it. It was game, set, and match. We got outscored 41-15 in the third quarter, 41-15. And Mikal Bridges has scored equal amount of points in this personal game in the third quarter than the whole team of Miami Heat did in the third quarter. And you had a lead. You had a lead in the third quarter, 52-47 after the Robinson three-pointer. Since then, the Heat just complete collapse. And they just had no heart. They don't know what they're doing. And against our big-time rival, the Knicks, I don't know what else to say no more. I don't know what a box score we're going to call it, okay? Duncan Robinson had a much better game tonight actually. 22 points for him, 5 for 9 in three-pointers, 8 for 12 in field goals, plus the and 1, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Haywood Highsmith just 2 points with the field goal, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Bam, I thought he was awful. Sorry. 12 points for him, 5 for 12 in field goals, 2 for 2 in free throws with 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal and 2 blocks. Tyler Hero with 20 points with 10 for 18 in field goals. He did not shoot. He did not make any three-pointers. He missed 3. 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Jaime Jaquez making a start. Just produced 6 points. 3 for 9 in field goals with 12 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Off the bench, Khalil Ware. Why was he off the bench? Why did he start off the bench? Why isn't he our starter? Forget how bad he's been playing offensively. We need the defensive rim protection, especially against the Knicks. Why is he a bench? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, he shoots 10 points, 5 for 6 in field goals with 6 rebounds and a steal on the block. Davion Mitchell with 12 points with 3 for 10 in field goals, 6 for 6 in free throws with 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block. The Knicks, Mikal Bridges with 28 points, 4 for 6 and 3-pointers, 10 for 14 field goals, 4 for 4 in free throws with 1 rebound, 3 assists, 1 steal. OG Anunoby with just 9 points with a 3-pointer and 2 more in the paint. He wasn't that good offensively, but his defense definitely was a disruption of the Heat. His defense was the reason. 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. And of course, Karl Anthony Towns with 23 points, and majority of the points came in the second quarter. That was that 15-0 run he has scored. And no, they couldn't get him. Meanwhile, he's taunting, doing these fingers. Like, what the fuck is that shit? 23 points for him with 3 for 5 and 3-pointers, all in the second quarter. 10 for 17 in field goals, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. Miles McBride, 10 points with 2 for 4 and 3-pointers, 4 for 12 in field goals with 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. And Josh Hart with 12 points with 2 for 5 3-pointers, 5 for 9 in field goals, 13 rebounds, 11 assists, 4 steals, and a block. Yes, Josh Hart, despite struggling the 3-point line, he has a triple-double in this game. And then off the bench, Mitchell Robinson, 5 for 7 in field goals with 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. And the third quarter, going back to the third quarter just real quick, it took too long. Somebody did a number 3, and it turned out the person who did do a number 3, which, as a disclaimer, my definition, my own definition of a number 3 is, vomiting through the mouth. It sounds disgusting, and I don't want to give more detail, but basically for me, number 3 is puking out of your mouth. That's what I meant. And apparently it was Tracy Morgan. Morgan apparently had enough of how bad the Heat has been, and he threw up. He threw up because the Heat sucked so badly that it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch the Heat team be so miserable all season long. I threw up too. Honestly, I would definitely throw up too. I would do number 3 as well. In all seriousness, I hope he feels better. I heard he had to get on a wheelchair and, covering his face. I think somebody else said that his nose was bleeding. I hope that's not true. But in all seriousness, with Tracy Morgan, I hope he feels better. But yeah, there was a delay. They had to clean up. That was on the side of the court. So hopefully he does get better. And the other note, we got another game on Wednesday that's also going to be on ESPN. So I feel like the sports people that are behind all this really enjoy the Heat suffering. So they had to put in another nationwide television for the Miami Heat. For them to be embarrassed on television even more than they already are against the Detroit Pistons. And that's going to be at home, Kaseya Center. Oh, should I add that the Heat are now 10 games under 500? Yep, that's right. 10 games under 500, the Miami Heat. They are 29 and 39. And let's take a look at the rest of the league. Let's see how the rest of the league is doing. The Heat lost, we already know that. The Bulls, at this time of recording, currently have a 2-point lead over the Utah Jazz. If the Bulls win against the Jazz, this means that they will have the same record as the Miami Heat. And considering that they have a tiebreaker against the Heat, that means the Heat would be down to 10th place in the Eastern Conference. Did the Heat deserve to be down 10th place? Yes. They deserved it. They did that to themselves. And the bigger question is, knowing the Toronto Raptors are going to be tanking and the Sixers still have some hope left, are they going to be out of the playoff picture? Would you be fine with them being out of the playoff picture? Honestly, they're not going to go far anyway. At this point, I want the draft picks. It's a goddamn mess, the Miami Heat. And it's a shame. I called in my prediction earlier this season. I said the Heat were going to have a much better season. They're just not. I can't. I just can't fathom how wrong I've become, and I'm not wrong in a lot of things, to be honest here. But yeah, it's either going to be a play-in. Most likely, it will be a play-in scenario for the Heat, or they're out of the playoffs. Which would you rather have? This sucks. Tomorrow's the off day. I'm just gonna enjoy it, relax in bed, thinking about my misery being a Heat fan, and I don't know, man. Good night.